Sagittarius 2020 horoscope. Welcome, dear friends. This is an astrology prediction for people with a sun or rising sign in Sagittarius. During the video, you will learn how the most important events during 2020 will affect you personally. We are going to talk about Jupiter and Saturn changing their sign positions, having conjunction with each other, having conjunction with Pluto separately, both of them. The nodes which will have ingressions. We are going to have 6 eclipses also. And Venus and Mars are both going to be retrograde. So it is a crazy year. It is an year for transformations and drastic life changes. Also, the 2020 astrology calendar is available, and I'm happy to let you know that now you can get yourself a copy of it. You will have daily insights about visible, invisible planets, exact aspects, ingressions, lunations, and so much more. If you want to get yourself a copy, you can find the link below the video. Now let's begin our journey with the first planet, Jupiter, your ruler, the lord of your sign, the planet which brings you the most serious changes. Jupiter, guys, is gonna be in Capricorn in your second house. And this is the area where you can expand, the area where you can grow, you can achieve new things, you may start new things, you may expand. Second house, it's about the material stuff in our life, our own energy, including our physical level of energy, all kinds of resources, personal belongings, money, which is a very important topic, of course, our health as well. So in those areas, you can have changes, you may have opportunities to grow, you may expand, you can be more successful. And there is also a very practical element of all of that because Jupiter is in Capricorn, and that's a very practical sign, basically. So you need to be very logical with the things you want to start, the things you want to materialize. You will have the opportunities, but you need to work for them as well. Because Jupiter will not be the only planet in your second house, guys. The transit Saturn is in your second house as well, part of the year. From January until March and from July until December, Saturn is together with Jupiter in your second house. So what does both of those planets want from you, basically? Jupiter means expansion, more of something, growing, but Saturn means decreasing or saving or focusing on stability. So there might be opportunities for financial growth, expansion, material success, but first you need to work hard for it. And second of all, you need to be cautious and to save some of it. So don't be reckless, don't spend money on meaningless things, sorry. And on the other side, try to keep some of that. Be precise, be grounded, be logical about your decisions. And Jupiter and Saturn are kind of opposite to each other as a nature. Jupiter represents more the positive side, the positive, optimistic attitude. Saturn, it could be either pessimistic or realistic attitude. So you need to find the balance here, not to be extremely positive and reckless when it comes to the financial side, but also not to let yourself to be too skeptical or pessimistic. So like a healthy realism is what you really need when it comes to the finances, your health, and all kinds of material stuff. But Saturn is gonna change its position. So I see now that I have a mistake in my presentation here. I have forgotten to, I can change it right now with you guys if you don't mind. Let's do it. It's Saturn in third house, of course, in Aquarius. So sorry about that, but it happens. All right, so Saturn in Aquarius in your third house between March and June and after the middle of December. And what does Saturn in third house mean? It means that you need to be very precise, very practical about new ideas, about new concepts. In terms of communication, this aspect is kind of a testing period for your relationships with people on a daily basis, not the romantic relationships. And if there are superficial, shallow communications, friendships, they will be cut out of your life. So only the meaningful friendships will stay, the meaningful, important people, reliable people in your life. Sometimes there might be kind of a disappointment, you know, you're disappointed by someone else and that's why you just, you know, let them out of your life. That happens as well. But Saturn brings this realistic note, you know, the ability to judge things accurately. So trust your mind, trust your logic in this situation. When it comes to learning, Saturn in third house also may push you to learn harder, especially some practical skills, something that you can apply immediately in your life. Or for example, learning a language. It won't be easy, but it can help you to, you know, have more knowledge and to use it in a practical way, basically. Now we are moving to the other conjunctions we have to discuss. First of all, Saturn with Pluto on the 12th of January, triggering your second house. So that's one of the most important topics of the whole year, actually. The conjunction between Saturn and Pluto and also Jupiter and Pluto. So those are some major impacts. And they are all triggering the same area, which kind of makes it even more powerful. For you guys, that's second house. So transformation, rebuilding something, changing the principles, changing the structure. So it could be like a new source of income or the need to change your activity so that you can earn more money or have more stability. Practical investment is also something that Saturn and Pluto can bring in your second house. Keep in mind that Pluto brings a lot. Pluto brings something huge. And with Saturn, it could be really a transformation of the rules and the principles and finding a new way to build up on that stability. And the other aspect is Jupiter and Pluto, again in your second house. That's an aspect which can bring incredible abundance, incredible financial prosperity. But you need to be wise and you need to work for it. It's all happening in the Capricorn sign. So no gifts, no, there might be opportunities, of course. It might be like, you know, presented to you, but you need to take action on it. The Jupiter-Pluto conjunction will happen during April, June, and November, so 3 times during 2020. And think about how you can grow, how you can expand. Maybe you need to change your belief system about finances, about money. Maybe you need a different knowledge about how you can earn more money or how you can manage the financial area. This aspect can really help you guys. And Jupiter and Saturn are gonna be in conjunction in Aquarius, your third house, on the 21st of December, basically the end of the year. So through the whole 2020, Jupiter and Saturn are chasing each other in your second house, but they will catch each other in your third house. So this is an aspect that puts a new beginning in a way, a new cycle will begin when it comes to your contacts, your communication with other people, your friends, or also knowledge. This is a great aspect for starting a new education, especially when it comes to something practical that you can use, that you can learn, with efforts, with some kind of experience that you can use as well. And also aspect that can bring traveling, trips, especially for business, especially if that's about work, Jupiter and Saturn in third house. And this aspect also activates your mind, your way of thinking. So you need to be open-minded, ready for the new perspectives, that's Jupiter, but at the same time, stay grounded, be practical, be realistic and logical. So combine both of those energies and it can become something extremely valuable and helpful and productive that you can use in your life. Now we are moving next to the nodes. The North Node will be in your 8th house until May. So focus on mutual finances, on resources, on investments, on some transformations, finding an emotional inner balance within you. But that will change. After the 5th of May, the North Node will ingress Gemini and will move to your 7th house. On the other side, the South Node will move to your 1st house. Obviously, that's a very important position. The North Node in 1st house suggests focus, expansion in the area of relationships and partnerships and new opportunities provided or presented by other people. You really need to work more on your communication skills, negotiation skills, ability to make compromises, to listen to other people, to have a dialogue. And with the South Node in 1st house, it means also to forget a little bit about your own desires, or don't try to be only a single player. Try to work more in partnerships, in relationships. Of course, for some people, the North Node can bring a new relationship, a new partnership, but you need to work on that, one-on-one communication. That's kind of the major topic that the North Node and the South Node are presenting to you guys. And the nodes, of course, are important because they are part of the eclipses, and we have 6 of those during 2020. The first one on the 10th of January, lunar eclipse, which triggers your 8th house. So some kind of changes, some kind of serious transformations, changes in terms of mutual resources as well, mutual finances, and so on. Then during the summer, we have 3 eclipses in a row, but they're all triggering different houses in your chart. The first is on the 5th of June, lunar eclipse in your 1st house. So of course, that's a big one. And it's about changing something within yourself. Your behavior, your actions and reactions, how you connect, how you express yourself, what kind of plans do you have. So it is pretty transformative. The next one is a solar eclipse triggering your 8th house on the 21st of June. So also transformative event, and time to maybe put the beginning related to your mutual resources or ways to attract resources from other people. And again, it could be about a personal transformation or exploration of something. And the last summer eclipse is on the 5th of July in your 2nd house. Changes in terms of the practical side of things, your resources, your income, your own money, how you can change that, what can be improved, what do you need to let go of, what do you need to separate with, how can you clear the space around you, within you. Those are the major topics of this eclipse. And the last Two eclipses are at the end of the year. On the 30th of November, there is a lunar eclipse in your 7th house. So relationships, partnerships, other people, what can you change there? What can you improve in the area of relationships? And the last one is a solar eclipse on the 14th of December. Again, a major event because it's in your 1st house. So a personal new beginning. What can you change? What can you improve in yourself? What can you start that's important for you? Those are the major topics. And we are moving ahead to the retrograde planets during 2020. Venus, Mars, and Mercury, all of them have retrograde cycles. And the first one we are going to talk about is Venus between the 12th of May and the 24th of June. Venus is retrograde in Gemini, guys, between the 22nd and the 5th degree in your 7th house. So that's a key transit for you, very important position, because Venus is normally associated to 7th house. So Venus is at home for you, and Venus is retrograde. So there might be some serious transformations in your relationship, in your way of communication, or the emotions you feel related to other people. Don't get married during this time. We don't recommend it. Try not to start new relationships as well, if possible. And on the positive side, you might restart old relationships. Partner from the past might come back into your life. They may call, you can meet them on the street, or life can happen, who knows? But this is a way for you also to look at those relationships from a different perspective. Maybe to heal some past pain, trauma, to let it go, to just release yourself from those emotional blockages. You might overreact, you might kind of dramatize sometimes, even though Gemini is not really a dramatic sign, but when Venus is retrograde, you know, there is a lack of harmony in the emotional area. So just be aware of that. People may not respond, you know, in the regular, normal way. Okay, and also, I think I mentioned it, but let me repeat it, business partnerships. Negotiations there may not be that productive as well. And next we are moving to Mars. The retrograde phase of Mars is between the 9th of September and the 12th of November, between the 28th and the 15th degree in Aries in your 5th house. So the good news is that Mars is trining your sign. Mars is trining Sagittarius. So that is always helpful. And that means you might reconsider some of your own actions, your own behavior, your own activities at the same time. And 5th house means to be more careful with children, with your romantic life, with creativity, with art, but also with risk-taking. So even in terms of finances, don't take unnecessary risks. In terms of health, in terms of, you know, whatever, don't push things. Don't push your luck, so to speak. So avoid the big risks. Even business, you know, business, this is one of the biggest risks that we take overall. So do not do it. Just try not. And with kids, you may need to work more on your relationship with your children. But overall, this is a time of reassessment. All things might come into your life, like, you know, a romantic partner, someone you've been in love with, or you might start doing again something that you loved doing in the past. Art, sports, creativity, whatever you like. Just use this time for a reflection and for reassessment. Restart something which has been positive for you, improve something that didn't work very well, and you're good to go. The last retrograde cycle is Mercury, and Mercury is gonna have 3 of those cycles. We are starting with February and March. Mercury retro in your 4th and 3rd house. So be careful in terms of family stuff and communication, traveling, document stuff as well. Then June and July, Mercury is retro in your 8th house. You need to be more careful with financial stuff, especially investments and mutual resources. And the last phase is October, November, Mercury retro in 12th and 11th house. So be more careful with friends, with social activities, with your community. It might be a more introspective period, but overall not that changing, not that transformative. As usual, we know when Mercury is retro, we don't recommend new beginnings, new projects, starting new businesses, signing important contracts. Probably you know all of that, but just a reminder. And now we are moving to the outer planets. That's the last topic that we have to discuss. And we are starting with Uranus, which will be in Taurus between the 3rd and the 11th degree in your 6th house. And this is a time for you guys to change something in your work. It could be a new opportunity. There might be some kind of stress. There might be something unexpected. And keep in mind that that's the case specifically if the cusp of your 3rd house is between those degrees, the 3rd and the 11th degree in Taurus, because that would mean that Uranus is going to be in conjunction with the cusp of your house. So changes, it could be unexpected, but it's pushing you to move forward, to try new things, to experiment. You may need more variety. You may need to start working on shifts, for example, or have your own business in some cases. And when it comes to health, you may also need to be more cautious. Uranus can make the nervous system more sensitive. So that's kind of the main thing you need to be careful with. So don't burn yourself out. Don't push yourself too much. Take care of yourself and everything should be okay. Next, we are moving to Neptune, which will be in Pisces in your 4th house between the 16th and the 21st degree. This is an important transit because Neptune will square your sun or rising sun if the degree of your sun or rising sign is here between the 16th and the 21st degree. Neptune squaring your sun or rising sign can bring some kind of messy, complicated situation in terms of your personal life, in terms of your personal activities, in terms of how you see yourself as well. So you need to learn to work with that. It's not one of the easiest energies, honestly. It can make you kind of unmotivated to do something on a material level. You might feel kind of lost or confused, but that's just a phase. The best thing you can do with Neptune is use the energy for something spiritual or something creative. Meditation, working with water, swimming can help. Also, music, visual art, they can help you to channel the Neptune energy easier. And overall, Neptune in 4th house can make the relationship deeper with family members, with relatives especially, but you may also need to take care of someone. And the reasons might be different in the different cases. So somebody may need help. You may need to make sacrifices for a family member. So just check what's really going on in your chart overall in order to be more precise. And the last transit is Pluto, which we kind of talked about already. Pluto is in your 2nd house between the 22nd and the 25th degree. Jupiter and Saturn are both there as well. So The transformation is very intense in the material area, in the practical things, in the financial stuff. And that's especially important if the cusp of your second house is somewhere within those degrees, the 22nd and the 25th degree. Then we can really talk about serious, drastic transformations, new perspectives, the need to create something new. So check the cusp of your second house. That's the most important, guys, during 2020. As you can see, the major focus is really on your second house, so the practical side of things. Seventh house is also triggered by the North Node, so the relationship area, the communication with others is also very, very important, and you can grow, you can be more successful there. If you want to get this presentation, so you can use it for your own reference, it's available. Just type your email in the comments and I will send it to you later. Also, don't forget to get yourself a copy of the 2020 astrology calendar. And please let us know in the comments, what are you most excited for during 2020? Is there something you cannot wait for, something you are really excited, or maybe something else that you are kind of wondering how will manifest? Let us know in the comments below. Thank you very much for your time, and I'm wishing you all an amazing and inspiring 2020. I'll see you really soon.